Hey guys, on this channel, not only do we talk about wireless audiophile products, we talk about other tech that interests me as well, and hopefully it interests you. Now today, we are going to be talking about this particular device here, which is a wireless display adapter. Well, it is still wireless. And not only does it cast audio wirelessly, it allows you to cast video wirelessly as well. So how well does it work? Now, right in front of me, I have a Gigabyte M28U. This is a 4K display capable of displaying up to 144 Hz in refresh rate. So this is a very, very highly capable monitor. Now, if you notice, I have but one cable running to the monitor because no matter how wireless solution you want to set up, you still need power. Like our Sonos speakers, we do have actually one cable going in, which is to supply power. So this computer here, this monitor here, actually is being supplied power with just one cable here. Now, what does wireless casting mean? Now, today there are many standards for wireless casting, and one of the most popular amongst the Apple users will be AirPlay. And AirPlay is capable of supporting both audio as well as video. So a very simple connection right here is that I have actually connected this device using an HDMI cable, which is actually provided. It's a 50-60 centimeters cable, about 2 feet, just under 2 feet, that will connect into the monitor using HDMI input. It requires power as well, so there is a USB-C input which you can connect to your monitor if your monitor has a USB port that actually supplies power. Otherwise, you will have to lead in from another charger, right? But basically, that is it. Now, you will see no other cables coming to this, and let's try how well it actually casts. Now, we are using an Apple iPhone 13 Pro here, and very simply, in order to cast to the screen, you will just select AirPlay. But before you do that, there are a couple of instructions on the screen here. When you plug in the device and the first time you start it up, it actually shows this, right? So you have the step 1, which is on your PC. You are supposed to log into the Wi-Fi that is being created by this device here. It sets up a Wi-Fi network for you to connect to. And subsequently, once you connect there, you will scan this QR code or enter this IP address, where you will then instruct this device here which network to connect to within your setup here. So once you are done with that, subsequently, you do not have to repeat these steps again. So all you need to do is to then scan this for the user manual. If you don't want to, like I have already set it up, you don't actually have to read the instruction manual. It is as simple as that. So on your iPhone, on your iOS device, or your iPad, or your Mac, as I'll demonstrate in just a little bit, all you need to do is to go screen mirroring, and screen mirror will actually bring up an option for you to cast to the ProScreenCast here. So this ProScreenCast here will appear as an option in your iOS device. And by clicking it, straight away, it will actually show up on the screen here. So you will be able to see my screen. And there is a button, which is basically this button here. Okay, I'm not actually clicking it because it is right behind my monitor right now. But if I were to click it, this is what it does, right? It actually changes the orientation from portrait to landscape and vice versa when you actually decide to click it through. Now, I'm just going to launch a very quick YouTube video for you to see, my video came out as recommendation and it is playing right away. All right, now if I click through to it, okay, and it starts playing, I were to increase it to full screen, it comes up in full screen. Audio and video both transmitted at the same time and is in perfect synchronization. Okay, so this is the video I actually took last night. Okay, so I were to stop it and that's it. All right, so it is as simple as casting from there. Now, I have a MacBook which is actually hooked up to the Apple Studio display right here. So for all intents and purposes, you can ignore the Studio display. Basically, what I'm trying to show you is how easy it is to actually cast from a laptop to this particular screen. So I will stop mirroring here on my iPhone, and let me just jump right over to this screen where on the Mac itself, I will select screen mirroring and select ProScreenCast, which is the same as what I selected earlier. And within seconds, it is going to come just right over. All right, so you will be able to see I have a screen side by side and I can move across the screen with very, very little latency. All right, you just take a look at how smoothly it actually goes across. Now, this Miracast dongle, this ProScreenCast SC01, which is the model right here, it goes for $70 US. The screen is a little bit too bright right now for the camera, but it goes for $70 US. Now, I'm just going to compare that with the Apple TV. Now, the Apple TV, of course, the Apple TV does a lot more things than just doing screencasting. It can do AirPlay, but for that price, you're going to be paying $180 for it. Granted, it's got a controller. Granted, it has a processor in itself, and you don't actually need a phone. You can run all the apps via the Apple TV itself. But if that is not something that you need, and it is you just want to connect wirelessly video, this SC01 device from ProScreenCast will actually do the job pretty well. Now, how well does it do it? Okay, let me just show you right here. This is using AirPlay 2, mind you, all right? So I'm just going to play this video right here. So this is AirPlay 2 in full screen glory, all right? Now, AirPlay 2 has limitations in terms of transfer bandwidth as well as the resolution that this goes up to. It actually looks really, really good right now already. You can't really tell that it is Full HD and only 1080p, right? The picture quality is really fantastic, as you can see from here. Now, if I were to stop it, right, there is actually another way that you can connect to the Miracast device right here. So I will stop screen mirroring. So I'm turning off screen mirroring. So what you can do is also to go to your Chrome browser. So this is using Chromecast. And you can share the screen, share your Chrome screen to a device right here using Cast, right? So I'm casting and it will show that, oh, do you want to cast youtube.com to an available screen, which is this ProScreenCast right here. And I'm going to click it and it goes there directly. So this is my Chrome browser, all right? The latency, again, I'm shifting my mouse. You might not be able to see it very clearly because it's a little bit too bright. But if I were to click play, go straight away. And in full screen mode, this is how this looks like. Okay, 4K 60. Now I'm going to click through. I'm pausing it because it's a little bit too loud. I'm going to click through to the menu on this monitor itself, and you will see from the screen the resolution is 3840 by 2160. That is 4K resolution. And if you look at the refresh rate, it is at 60 Hertz. Now, this is being recognized as a 4K 60 Hertz display, but whether your network is capable of pushing that much bandwidth over the network, or even whether your PC is powerful enough to run two different screens at that kind of resolution, it really depends. That refresh rate is actually pretty high for most computers. Actually, most modern computers should be able to handle it pretty well. So we have now demonstrated the iPhone iOS device. We have demonstrated a Mac, and the Mac has two ways of connecting. One is via AirPlay 2, and the other is via the own Chromecast proprietary protocol. I'm just going to exit this and I will stop casting. Okay, so for viewers who know me, you would know that I am actually very heavy on Mac devices, on Apple devices. So I'm using the iPad, I'm using the Mac, I'm using an iPhone. So I don't really have an Android device at home actually. So quite ashamed to say that. I do have one, but it's not charged up most of the time. So what I want to demonstrate today is actually for those of you who are using a PC, can you do the same? Now, most PCs which are running Chrome today will be able to run, Chrome, and you can also connect via Chromecast. But and the process is the same as on the Mac. But what we are trying to show you here right now is that you can actually set up this Miracast device as a separate screen without going through Chrome. So it will actually duplicate, it will actually create a secondary screen for you, and it's a wireless screen. Now, all you need to do is go inside settings and you will go into the display tab. And under the display tab, if you go under multiple display, you will see something that allows you to connect to a wireless display. And when you click on the connect to a wireless display, hands off, you don't have to do much. It will search for the available display. Again, you will see the same ProScreenCast. And clicking on it, connecting, and within seconds, you will see that the screen, yep, there you go, right? So this is the actual screen itself. You will treat this as though it's a completely different screen from the laptop that you're running or from the PC that you're running. You don't actually need cables, and everything is right here for you. Now, this is actually replicating the entire screen. So on the laptop that you're casting from, you will actually see that it says here, connected to ProScreenCast. And that is actually this particular monitor right here. No cables, no HDMI, no DisplayPort cables, nothing of that sort, all right? Basically, you're just exposing the entire screen right over there. And not only that, it also transfers audio as though it is a HDMI cable display, right? So your monitor, if it is capable of producing audio, will be able to take the audio from the wireless feed to feed it through and play back through the speakers. Now you can also connect it to a TV. Now this room is kind of small. I don't actually have a TV right here, but when I tried it on the LG CX screen outside, I'm able to cast an entire movie right to the screen and play it. And I also tried using Apple TV here, and when I'm using the TV app itself, right? So when I'm playing a movie, it actually casts both audio and video to the screen, and I'm able to watch an entire movie without actually having anything tethered and connected. Again, of course, you can use your apps, but in a projector setup, for example, if you're interested in getting some kind of screencasting capabilities, then this actual device is for you, right? 4K, 60 frames per second in HDR. Image quality is pretty amazing, as I have demonstrated to you. Now, I hope you have found this review useful. I don't know how many of you are looking for these kind of devices, but as and when I come across these, and as and when the companies are willing to actually send me review units for me to test out, if it works perfectly, I will show it to you guys. Some devices, they don't actually work as per claim, so you never see those videos. So this is one thing that actually works pretty well and pretty fine. I do think that I still want to make use of this particular screen right here, except that it's a 144 Hz screen, so maybe 60 Hz is probably not doing it justice. Let's see how we can deploy this guy, maybe connect it to a TV, because I have 3 other screens at home, and I only have 2 Apple TV devices. So there you go. $70. I think it does its job pretty well. Okay, then that is all for today, and I'll see you in my next video.